Yo, what's up? This your young boy, young J.Perk of J.Perk Productions. I'm back again. But before I start the video, shout out to my brother, Brandon. He hooked me up with this shirt for Christmas. I just wore it for the first time, so I just showed it on the video. Fresh shirt, you know how I do it. He got me this hat a few years ago, but yeah. So that was a quick shout out. But today's video is going to be about what lenses do I have and why did I choose them. So it's going to be in like chronological order from when I got them. And we'll start with the good old kit lens. So this came with my T2i in 2010. I got it November about 15th, 17th, 2010. This is the lens that came with it, 18 to 55 millimeter of 3.5 to 5.6. Variable aperture, has stabilization. This is how it looks. So this is the lens that came with it. It was pretty cool. I can get some wide shots. I can kind of come in to something telephoto. I made some cool videos with it. It was my first, introduction into having a background slightly blurry, because I would go there like 18 millimeters, 3.5, this close to it, background slightly blurred. So that was really cool. And for Christmas in 2010, my father decided to hook me up with this. This is the 55 to 250 millimeter, 4 to 5.6 zoom lens. And this is telephoto. You can see things up close, like bang bang, get all up in there. And this was a good lens. The reason I got this one because my father hooked me up, and this was good, if I'm shooting animals, shooting objects far away, just to get that different perspective, because coming from this, you're only used to shooting wide or like, not even just like kind of close to that 50, but this, you get a whole new perspective. Like, I can back up and get some animal, because the animals like to run, so bang, boom, you up close to them. And that's why I got this lens. So come January 2011, I decided to purchase this. This is like the lens that introduced me to all the other lenses that really changed my perspective and changed my idea about photography, and to like really bring my style, to come from my style. So this is the 50 millimeter f1.8 version 2 or Mark II. And it's, f1.8. This is a $100 lens. I got it for $70 on Canon refurb. I took the first few pictures in January 2011, and I had the aperture, wide open, or at least at f2. And the background was so blurry. I was astonished, like, whoa, this looks fake. Because coming from, this, where you get up close and you do a little thing and it's slightly blurry, just, marginally blurry. You put this and do the same thing, and the background is gone, and you're like, wow, this is amazing. And just keep playing with this lens and really doing so many things. So this lens really brought me into the low light prime lens spectrum. This is my first prime lens, my first EF lens. This is the lens that changed everything for me. So shout out to this 50 millimeter f1.8. It's cheap, whatever, but I produced some amazing photographs. I produced some amazing video with this, and this lens taught me a lot. So coming in March 2011, I decided to get this one. And this is the 100 millimeter 2.8 macro lens. It's a beast. So if you don't know, a macro lens can like focus really close, and usually like a lens like this maybe have like 3 feet or 2.5 feet or something like that focusing distance, like minimum focusing distance. But with this one, I can focus damn near a few inches like this, and it's 1-to-1, so the magnification on the image is so big, like you can really see detail, and it's a macro lens, so you see really close, small details, and it's really amazing. And the reason I got this one, because I wanted to change my perspective again. I wanted to get extremely close, and in some of my videos in March 2011, you can kind of see that I was playing with stuff with my eyes and just the macro photos. And it's just amazing how close you can get. You see the world differently. And all the money photos I've done, this is the lens, So this lens changed like me seeing the world. Like I could see small details, and you look in a big room and you look at something, you see the small details, and then you put the lens to it and you create that image that you see in your mind. This is what this lens helped me do. This lens is also good for portraits. It's extremely sharp. Like really extremely sharp, and you can focus close. So I can be like a foot away from you, bang, get like an eye or something like that. The eye is extremely sharp. The rest of it falls off nice and softly. It's beautiful. So that's why I got this, really to see the world differently, to get close up. And I chose this one over I think it was the 100 millimeter f2. I chose this one just because of the macro capabilities. and I saw an application for the future, you know, using this. So this is the reason why I got this. So my next lens is actually on a camera, and in January 2012, got a little confused. So for March 2011, I got this. January 12, I got the 24mm f1.4L. This was my first L lens. This lens, you know, was really big. It had a big old filter thread of 77mm. This was the lens that took what I did to the next level, to really show that you can do anything. Meaning that the amount of money I paid for, I never like really thought when I first got my T2i and I first, you know, started this photo video thing, that I would amass the amount of money to pay for, you know, professional quality equipment, you know. And that really opened my eyes, like, to show you that anything is possible. And the real reason I got the lens was because the 50 was great. It was a wide aperture, but I found that the 50 wasn't wide enough for most situations, like going into restaurants, you want to take food photos, but the 50 is too telephoto. So the 24 will offset that, being a much more wide, have a much more wide perspective, you know, and still have that shallow depth of field. And the f1.4, I couldn't resist. It was some competitors like the 28-1.8, the 24-2.8, still little stuff like that Canon has, something around that range. But I saw that this was the widest, fastest lens, and it just intrigued me. So I said, I have to get this. I have to get this. So, you know, I got the refurb because that's how I do it, and I just got it. And this lens, like I said, really changed, you know, just put me on that level where I can see myself, you know, progressing and progressing. And I realized there's really no boundaries if you keep working hard, if you keep pushing yourself. So this lens is one of those things, it's like a trophy, in a sense that you can do anything, but at the same time, I use it so well because I needed that wide capability of a lens, but I also need the fast capability of a lens. And combining those two, this was the perfect lens for me. And now that I'm on full frame, it's even wider, and it's still, you know, got that beautiful shallow depth of field. The f1.4 is wide, it's fast. And I look forward to using this lens for years and years to come. So finally, the last lens that I got is this. This is the 85mm f1.8. And the real reason I wanted to get this lens was because I was still shooting the T2i at the time, and I really wanted to really full jump right in, dive right in until the part where I do portrait photography, like portrait. And I was looking at this in the 85mm f1.2. And the reason I went with this over the 1.2 was just because it was cheaper and the focusing was quicker. And I knew from the jump that I wasn't going to be doing 100% portraits, you know, like portraits when people stand still, where I can have slow focusing in the 1.2, where I can pay the damn near $2,000 in a 1.2. So for 400 or 3 something, I forgot how much this cost. Got it in November 2012. This was a perfect lens. It had the 1.8, which is still fast. The background still goes blur, you know. The focusing was much quicker, so I can kind of use it with sports. Like I shot my little brother's basketball game with this lens. It got some beautiful photos. And I really wanted to jump into the portrait market. And the difference between this portrait and this portrait is, this is great in, like, you know, if you got light or if you got flashes going off and things of that nature. But if you're in a low light situation, this is the one you want to go to, because this is a maximum aperture f2.8 and this is a maximum aperture f1.8. So this one you get much more light coming through, and especially with the T2i with the low ISO performance or the terrible ISO at high ISO performance. This one was the one to go with. And now that I have the 6D, I can really push it further. That and the 24 with its fast aperture and the 6D's high ISO performance, I can really push the low light capabilities further. So this is really to jump into the portraits, and among other things, it's beautiful. The minimum focusing distance is 2.8 feet. I did some portraits, you know, you've seen in my previous video, and they look amazing, and it's terribly sharp. And this is at 1.8 where I did those portraits, you know, wide open. So this is my lens collection, and that's like in chronological order from, you know, when I got them, and those are the reasons why I got them. So if you have any lenses, show out your lenses and explain to me why you got your lenses, and maybe, you know, one day I can upgrade to some more lenses if I find, you know, a spot or a need or want for those different, you know, perspectives or things like that. So if you got any questions, you want to hit me comments, you know, the comments are always down here. Hit me with some comments. I love to respond to comments. Like the video because there's more to come. If you got any photo, video related camera questions, anything, you know, hit me up. This is your young boy, young J.Perk of J.Perk Productions. Yeah.